So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our brand new conjunction video of Sun and Rahu in the first house. As in, what happens when Sun and Rahu are conjunct in the first house of your horoscope. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all the other astrological details, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy, where you'll find my nakshatra course, my simplified course, along with my vlogs. So anyway, let's start with Sun and Rahu in the first house. So Sun and Rahu conjunction, it's a very unique conjunction because in a way, we can call this an eclipse. But of course, it won't be a true eclipse unless, of course, Moon is directly opposite or Moon is in the first house as well. So that would be a different situation, but just Sun and Rahu here together. First house is us. It is us. It's what people are seeing. So first house represents, your overall karmic pattern of life. First house represents the body. Although the first lord will really determine how the body is, but then again, whenever planets in the first house, they will change and affect the body. And first house represents fame. So what happens here, whenever Rahu is sitting with a planet, it will always suck the energy out of that planet, including the sun. Because what happens when you see an eclipse? Rahu is created while Rahu engulfs the sun. And we can see Rahu all around in a sphere. So regardless of, what planet it is, including the star sun, it will take that as its energy. And first house, sun is a very confident sun, right? It's a sun that is very balanced in its way of understanding things. So now what happens is Rahu is amplifying it. Rahu is taking the energy of sun, and through its magnification, body magnifies it. So naturally, we're going to see a person who is extremely bold, extremely outspoken. Okay, somebody who may have overblown ego. Like, hey, look at me. Look at my stuff. Look at my career. Look at my spouse. Look at my home. Look at my children. Like, you will see these people always talking about something about their life. If the conversation is not going back to them and what they're achieving, what they're doing, they will lose interest in that conversation. And this is just Sun and Rahu. If Jupiter is aspecting this particular position, it'll be a much more balanced and, a little bit down to earth position. But here, this person wants to be about itself and wants other to be about themselves. And they want to engulf everybody else in their own persona. And obviously, Sun is the government. And with Rahu being there, such people love to play manipulation with the government. Such people, especially who plays the biggest manipulation with the government, the politicians. They can take something so beautiful, that started a particular country, a particular, way of belief and system, and they can completely just change it, manipulate it, because they need to gain from it. They need to gain the money. They need to gain the wealth. So that's what this particular Rahu, Sun Rahu will do. A person can become a very clever, very dynamic politician. Somebody you won't even realize that, wow. So whenever they're standing in front of the people, this person will engulf people's admiration. So that's one of the big things we see. Now, will they do something good? This is not like they're always going to be taking something and wanting to, just do it for themselves. Because depending upon the sign, depending upon the nakshatra, this is an individual who will use their ego, who will use their power to perhaps give back to the people. So again, the actual manipulation of good and bad, right? We want to think of in good and bad. Fine. Let's think of it in good and bad. Good and bad will come from the tattva of the planet, the element of the planet, okay? And it'll come through the star of the planet, which means nakshatra. Nakshatra will really show what is this person wanting to achieve and wanting to gain. Are they wanting to gain, or are they wanting to give? Or they wanted to gain and receive and give. So we can't put this Sun and Rahu category in one, but one thing we do see is that these people, they want to be the sun. They want to be the sun, and not only in their lives, in everybody else's life. Now, of course, impact of other planets, aspects, conjunction will always change those things. And especially because Sun, and again, you have to take this with a grain of salt, because I'm really seeing Jupiter truly as the significator of father. But Sun does represent the father. There is something with that as well, but Jupiter most definitely does. That's something you can try. Like the Jupiter in your chart will signify some major pinpointed behavior of your father, some event of your father. But Sun itself will represent that. So it shows that a person will have a very strong dynamic father. Father who is in a very extremely powerful position. And due to the father, the individual will kind of like take on those qualities, because again, we are part of that DNA. We didn't just come out of nowhere. We came through our mother and father, their genes and their habits and their accolades and their likes and dislikes somehow are embedded within us. So it is going to manifest something there. And especially this person will be extremely egotistical with their younger siblings. Like they always want to be the big brother or sister. They want to be the one in charge. They want to show that they are more powerful than them at all times. And this may never go away with age. So they may get really jealous if younger sibling becomes more successful. They may not talk to them. And usually sometimes a person, has a very burnt out relationship with the younger sibling. Yet again, they always will take on some major quality of the father. Actually, the relationship of the father doesn't get damaged here, unless some other factors are happening. I mean, at least in my experience, I have not seen ruined relationships. Actually, it sometimes has been opposite, like the father is the best friend of this individual. And one thing you will see though is that because of their ego, fights within the home will happen. Because of their ego, they will even lose some fixed asset. Like somebody becomes so prideful, no, I'm not going to make this deal. No, I'm not going to sign this paper. And yet, in the end, the better deal never came. That other opportunity never came, and they kind of lose that. So again, it's such people have to always put things in humble perspective. And how do you get humble perspective with this? Well, there's no one remedy fits all. A chart has to be seen, and then we would have to advise that, okay, you need to start doing this. You need to start implementing this in your life, or with certain remedial measures within the home, you can see that change, coming in your consciousness. Okay. So guys, this is my analysis of Sun Rahu conjunction in the first house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. If you want to know where your Sun is placed, all your astrological details, check out the links here along with your Rahu. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.